Okay. So let me click any role here. So before that, let me show you the standard roles here. You can see right here 157. This one is the most of the time this two we will use in the to get the reporting manager. Okay, these two rules will be work based on the A002 relationship, top to bottom. Okay, based on the architecture. So 99% we will use a 168 rule number. If we take 168 rule number, okay, let me go to just keep this screen open. Okay, just go to PF AC 168. Okay, you can see. So while creating the workflow, so we need to enter the this function model here. So whatever the G function model that we created, right, that function model you have to enter here by selecting the function to be executed. Okay, so inside this logic, so this container will work as an input parameter. These are the input values. Consider organizational management object, object type, object ID. Okay, user ID and user ID we need to pass. User ID I think position number we need to pass here. Okay, and so these values will be imported into the workflow container by using the macro. Okay, you can see there is a macro inside the workflow. You can see establish get element. Okay, and this macro is importing the organization underscore object value and passing to the local variable here. Okay, to to work this macros is in our function model. There is a one include. So you consider include ct cntain. We have to implement this macro in the workflow, sorry, in the function model. So without including this macro, if you try to use the workflow related macros, right, then it will not work. Okay, so whenever you create a function model, you have to make sure that you have to include this macro. Or else better to do one thing, just come copy this function model. You can do whatever the logic that you want, you can write. Okay, and you can see there will be no import parameters, there will be no export parameters, only tables will be there. There is only actor tab. So for this actor tab only we'll assign the values here. Just go to the source code. Okay, you can write whatever select queries or function models, whatever you can write. Finally, just update the data to the actors tab. Okay, let me show you one function model. Okay, so before going to use this function model, we have to test it. This test is will call it a simulation. Okay, just try to pass the user global. Let me take his position number. Okay, so now go to the rule simulation. EFSC. And the organization object ID. Sorry, here we have to enter. Here we have to enter the user ID global, and you can enter the attachment type. Still not getting. Let me change this. Just give me 1 minute, okay? Okay, so can you see? Hello?
Yeah, Ramesh.
Okay, so what was the issue here? Hello? You observe like what was the issue here? What I changed here?
Employee validity date.
Just validate it like here. Most of the time in the production system we'll get the tickets like this only. Okay, so there will be a employee and there will be a manager, and still he can able to access system, but the you will not get the work item will not go to his manager. The reason is that okay in the PA30 what I did is just extended the user. Earlier it was February, sorry, 10th to 2016 was there. Okay, as I extended the validity. So based on the validity only, begin date, end date only, this rules will work. Okay, so just enter the extended date, then I just pass the rule number here. Okay, it is a simulation, yeah, here. So then we are getting the character reporting manager. Okay, is any question here? Okay, this is the employee number of that manager and this is the user ID. Okay, so automatically the work item will go to this user ID if you use this rule in the workflow. So any question here? Hello? Shall I use this workflow? Shall we use this rule in the workflow?
Yeah.
So just go to the okay, and one more thing. Okay, when you are implementing the workflows with rules concept, right? Okay, so you should not test the workflows with manually. Okay, generally sometimes we'll pass this values here and we'll pass the key values and we'll test the workflows, right? Am I right? Sometimes we'll test the workflows manually. Okay, if you test the workflows manually by using the SWDD transaction code, these rules will not work. Okay, so rules will work always based on the initiator user ID. Initiator. Okay, you can see in this workflow. So there is a concept called initiator. If you go to the binding, the earlier workflow I shown you, right? Sorry, not this one. FTC. Yeah, in this workflow, if you see, the rules will always work based on the initiator concept, initiator binding. You can see, right? Initiator concept. Okay, so let's say for example we are working with your own user ID, something like a username is Ramesh. Okay, this username is Ramesh is our developer user ID, right? So we are basically we are the developer. We will never assign to any employee number. Okay, generally our user ID will be something like abab1, abab1, abab2, like that. They'll create a users in the production system or development system. Okay, these users will not be assigned to any employee number in the real time scenario. So if you test the workflows with this user ID in the development system or content production system, workflows will not work. Okay, we have to log into the particular employee. Okay, then only we have test. That is the reason most of the cases in the real time scenario when you are working in the integration test or unit testing, right? At the time we use the SAP portals, enterprise portals. Okay, when in enterprise portal we'll create a test data. Okay, the test data like initiator, like at least one or two test cases will create. One is for the employee and second for the manager. Okay, with these users only will do the testing in the will do testing in the integration test or unit testing. Okay, then only the rules will work properly and the work data will go to the manager. Okay, so make sure that you remember this concept when you are showing the testing to the end users. Otherwise, if you try to execute the scenario with you after developing the scenario, if you try to execute with your user ID, workflows will not work. Okay, so this is the main important concept when you are showing the scenario to your managers and end users. Okay, let me go to the workflow. I will show you practically what exactly the issue is that you will face, so that you will get complete idea. Let me create one scenario. Else we can use existing one. 445 something is that right? Yeah, can use this one. Okay, I'll just I think we'll copy. go to the, I'm removing this background method. It's also not required for me. Okay, here I'm just using the 168 rule. Okay, here just implement the binding. Okay, remove this. Remove all the binding. Just implement the standard binding here. Okay, just come out. Again generate the binding here. Okay, now go to the, you can see object ID. This automatically implemented workflow initiator implemented to the object ID. This object ID is nothing but a user ID. OTAP is nothing but a US user ID we are passing, right? So when you are using the standard rule concept, right, just implement the automatic binding. Automatically workflow will take care of it. So you don't need to manually map anything. Okay, now activate the scenario, test it. Okay, so just activate the workflow here. So your workflow template number will be one number is 458. Okay, and just check this workflow whether it is triggering or not. Okay, so as per the reporting structure, we assign the employee number p tag. We are testing for the scenario for the employee number 1000, right? Okay, employee number 1000. So when we run the scenario for employee number 1000, then it will go to the user ID WF user2. Okay, so before going to test the scenario, you have to check the whether test data is perfectly implemented in the system or not, whether test data created properly or not. We have to check. Okay, first go to the first check the what is the user ID that you are using. We are using the global, and go to the PA30 transaction code. Okay, here enter the input of 105, enter the subtype 001. Okay, check the user. Okay, you have to make sure that you have to check the validity date of this user. Okay, so once you check this, and check the one more concept is like email ID. So sometimes we'll use the email ID also in the workflow, right? You have to see the email ID. Okay, email ID is also valid. Okay, then reporting manager employee number is 1201, right? Here you can check the email ID of the reporting manager. This also implemented correctly, completely correctly. Now go to the reporting manager user ID. Okay, suppose if the logic is correct, everything is fine, but sometimes the user is not valid, reporting manager user ID is not valid, then you will not get the work item will not go to the reporting manager also. So you have to check the validity of this thing. Basically, in the production system, you will get the PA20 authorization, PA20 transaction authorization for the few employee number, few info types. Like in that 105 is the one info type. In this 105 also, we'll get the authorization for only these two subtypes. Consider there are many subtypes are there. 01 like voice, email, credit card, all these things are right. They will not give authorization for all these things. Only will get the authorization for the 001 and 010. For two subtypes, we will get the authorization to display access. Okay, we will not get the authorization to even for change also. Just only display access will get. Okay, base you have to enter the employee number, you have to enter the subtype, and you have to see the whether the validity is there or not for this particular employees. Okay, suppose if you are not having the authorization for the PA20, okay, so there is a concept called firefighter ID. So do you know this concept? Hello, Vipin Shikai, Harsha, you have worked in this with firefighter ID in your projects?
No, Ramesh, I'm hearing first time.
Okay, so in GRC there is a concept called firefighter. Okay, when you are every project, every MNC project, they'll give one transition code. Okay, something like it will be like VRS, some different number will be there. Okay, this transition will be there. They will enter this transition code in the production system. Okay, we have to raise the firefighter access with high priority. Okay, they will give the levels. There will be levels like level 1 is for the update. Okay, something like master data update. Level 2 for the something like a development. Okay, for the papers like that. There will be they'll create a three to four levels they'll create. In that, by any one level, let's say for example, level 1 is our related to ABAP. Okay, in this level, generally they'll give the transition list of the transition like SM30, SM37, SM SC11, sorry, not even SC11, uh, SC80, PFTC, okay, PA30. Like that, they'll add the list of transactions in the level one uh, in the GRC level. Okay, we have to whenever we are going to raise a ticket to access this GRC, for Firefighter ID, right? We have to check the list of the transaction codes in that level. Okay, whatever, let's say for example, now we are going to use the in PA30 transaction code, right? So we have to check in this levels. If the PA30 is there in in the level one, then we have to raise the access for level one only. Then only they'll give the access for the level one. And when you enter this transaction code, right, immediately then there will be one pop-up will come. In that pop-up, you have to enter this transaction code. Okay, we are using the PA30 for to check to update the employee number, employee master data for a particular scenario. Like you have to mention the ticket number, because we should not open any other transaction code, any other transaction code for the blank screen also we should not open, because everything will be recorded in this transaction code. So suppose if they are given for only PA30 authorization, suppose by mistake you opened the SC11, even though it will display access, if you open it, then immediately they'll after you complete the your session, right, you will get a mail like why you used the SC11, which is not there in your request. So you have to give so many explanations. They'll take very serious on the this kind of issues. Like this concept is implemented for restrict the employees to use the access in the production system. Okay, so when you are using the firefighter ID, whenever you are accessing the particular T code, that you have to maintain clearly in the document in the request. You have to use only that T code. Suppose, let's say for example, after using the PA30, still the issue is not resolved, then you can access one more time with the required transaction codes, but you should not use in the existing request other T codes. Okay, and when once you enter the pop-up, once you enter the transaction code in the pop-up, once you add the comments, right, then there will be an option like a continue. Okay, after continuing that, automatically will be logged into PA30, and whatever the employee number that you are going to check the record, right, just enter the employee number, check the update the data, and come out of that screen. Okay, this actually most of the time work administrators will work on the firefighter concept, firefighter ID. Okay, so basically, if in your project, if there is a GRC team or basis team, say basis security team is there, they'll explain to you, they'll guide you like how to use this scenario, how to use this transaction codes. Okay, but as a workflow consultant, it is mandatory to know this concept. Okay, so here, like, okay, so once you check all this, right, now create a scenario. So any doubt in the firefighter concept? Hello,
Yes, Ramesh.
any doubt here?
No.
No, Ramesh.
Okay, so it's a standard concept, Shika, and even you just try you can try in the SDN also, you'll get some documentation. But most of the time, if the GRC or SAP security is not implemented, then basis team will take care of this updating all the things. Okay. can now run the transition code. Here one more thing. Suppose if you assign the employee numbers and here when you are using the test data, right? Let's say for example our test case is now employee number is the 1000 and reporting manager employee number is something 201. Okay, if for this employee number we assign the user global AWS user 2 we assign, right? If you implemented the test data properly, then here you no need to change the employee number. You can see, right? Change the employee number. There is an option called change the employee number. For like in the product portal also, for each and every scenario there will be option to test the scenario for other employees. Okay, here you no need to change the employee number. If you change the employee number, then on behalf of your working for other employee. Okay, just create the scenario now. Okay, our workflow number is 458. Just check this apply one. Okay, you can see this workflow. Now agent selected. We have to see what is the issue. Okay, so you can see go to the step history. There is no error. Containers. Can you see like agent is blank and work item also. Sorry, work item is ready, but work we can here you cannot see the rule, right? Sorry, agent name. So just go to the workflow. What is there inside? These are actually it's not required. These are related to the standard. Sorry, custom things, right? Already they have not implemented. Okay, let me check any other user. Okay, let me use this. Change the reporting manager. Go to the reporting manager. Okay, so when you're working in the workflow, just like only designing is not once you, designing and only the problem. Like most of the time you'll face the problem with the data only. Okay, designing anyway you'll implement, logic anyway you'll write, but most of the time you have to check the test data like this, all these things. Okay, now again run the scenario. Let me deactivate other purpose. Are you observing the issues, VPN and VL? Oh, so these are the real-time issues actually. Okay, you are getting my like screen set. You are following me. What is the issue now? Why the work item is not went to the manager? Shika, did you observe what is the issue? Hello.
My
Yes, Ramesh.
screen got stuck that time, Mahesh.
Okay. So,
I could not see. Or it came all the activation sound and it got stuck.
Shika, you did you get a chance?
Can you show what was the issue?
Okay. Okay, I'll show you. Shika, what about you? Did you observe that? What was the issue? Hello.
No, Ramesh.
Did you get it? And Arsha, what about you? Did you observe the screen? Like, what was the issue there?
Yeah, task type, the
Yeah,
general task.
yeah. I actually remember in the last session. Okay, in the last session, we implemented the some hardcode agent assignments, right? Yeah.
You're right.
You remember in the task level we assigned some users here. You remember?
Yes.
Like we made it as a
Yeah.
we made it as a general forwarding allowed, and after that we added some hardcode agent assignment. We added some
Right. Right.
dummy argument, dummy positions we added. So that was creating problem.
Hmm.
Okay. So we use this task in that workflow. In the task level, there is a hard code assignment. That is the reason workflow is not, the rules is not working. Okay. So that's what actually, if you have this kind of issues, first thing, there will be no issue in the design level. Most of the time, developer will think that there is some issue in the design level. There will be no issue in the design level. First thing is check the agent assignment, then go for the validity period. You have to check the test data, whether you test data properly, this data correct or not. Check the validity and check the user is logged or not. All these things you have to check. Then go for the uh, design level. If you think that there is a issue in the design and all. Okay, but just simply don't change anything in the design, because it is workplace working for other employees. It is not working for some other employees. That means something the issue with the only that employee. Okay, now see the log here. You can see work item already reached to the user inbox. You can see the log now. Okay, here the rule container you cannot see here, but work item will be, because we are not implementing any manual expression related agent assignment, right? Automatically work item will go. But if you have any errors in the uh, architecture level, right? Then you'll get the um, you'll get the complete history, like there where exactly the history and all. You'll get the errors here. Okay, let me create one error. We'll do some. We'll delete one binding. Okay, I will do one thing. I'll just go to this binding. I'll just remove this initiator one. Okay, just continue. Okay, now again run the scenario. Okay, now see the workflow. Okay, work item will go. Maybe you are not clear the buffer. 1 minute. Okay. I'm just trying to generate one error so that you'll come to know like how to analyze that errors. Okay. Uh, just try the one. Think numbers will not get an error. Okay, I'll do one thing. I'll just add some wrong binding. Workflow is automatically taking the initiator user ID inside that. Okay, let me add some wrong binding here. Okay. Now we can see. Okay. Can you see? Okay, it's in some cases like if you are working with email notification, individual email notification, right? Then you'll get a red color symbol here, red color here, like now it's a green, right? So you completely you'll get a instead of this blue this color you'll get a red color here, so that you'll say you'll come to know there is a issue in this step. But if it is something like a if it is a design level issues, then you'll get the color itself in the design level. But if it is something like in the issue in the coding level or in the binding level, right? Okay, workflow looks fine in the design level, but inside, okay, let's go right. So there is an option, only option is step history. In the step history only you'll come to know. So what exactly issue here? You can see, right? In the step history, so you'll came to know these are the things like you have to check each and every step here. So while creating the workflow, so you can see the resolution, the rule 160 rule number is having the issue. So there is no C position for in the rule resolution. So we are not passing the proper data to the binding. That is the reason we are getting this error. Okay, and you are working with your own custom rules, right? In the custom rules also, suppose if there is a issue with there is a syntax issue or there is some like a dump issue, right? So those dump issues also you will come to know here very clearly, like where exactly the issue and is it issue with the function model or issue with the binding and all, you will come to know here. Okay, so sometimes when you are working on the production system, right? Here we have only one issue. Simply we'll come to know this. We'll go to this. We went this log, and we have seen there is issue in the binding, right? Okay. In production system, we have the thousands of requests here. Okay. If you implemented the workflow administrator concept, like you remember in SW3, I told you. So there is a we assigned our user ID as an administrator. You remember this concept? I explained in the beginning of the sessions. Can you remember this? SWDC.
No, Ramesh, exactly.
You remember this T code? The screen you
Yeah, T-code, yeah, T-code, screen I remember, right.
okay?
Here we will define one user ID, right?
Yeah, so when yeah, suppose if the workflow went to error mode due to some binding issue, not binding, due to some dump issue, due to some system issues, right? Then as a
Mm-hmm.
administrator, you will get the notification here. due to some sort of termination issues and all, okay, you'll get the notification. Seeing the notification, by saying the work item number, you have to analyze the workflow. Because each and every work item you cannot see and you cannot check the right, you cannot see. Every 1 hour, thousands of requests will be created. So even though
Right.
5 to 10 members are working in the project, also we cannot, it's not possible to trace each and every thing. Yeah, most of the time you will get the notifications. Okay, these are all things are related to the workflow administration and real-time issues. Okay, you can see there is an issue in the workflow suspended. Something there is an issue with the start condition. Okay, you will get the work item ID like this. Guys, you have to go, you have to take this work item ID, you have to enter into this deploy event target code, you have to analyze it. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so any questions here? Yeah, any questions here?
No, Ramesh. No worries.
Yeah, and tomorrow we'll work on again with the same concept with our roles. Like I will create one function model. The function model will enter. We'll write our logic. We'll write the logic to get the data from the G tables, and with company code plan and all those things. Then we'll implement in the roles. Okay, and after that we'll work on the responsibility based role. Okay, so here in the standard rules, I implemented with the HR model. Okay, if you are working with FICO or MM scenarios, right? So sometimes you are not aware of giving the input values. Let's say, for example, I know the little bit of HR above concept, and I gone through all the HR master data, I changed it. Okay, so suppose we are not aware of those concepts, like what is this and all, then HR functional, that functional model, functional consultant who is working on that project, they can help you what are the input values that you can give. Like sometimes you have to give the plant number or company code or some different numbers. Like if you go to the FI model, right, there are many things that we need to give in the standard rules. Okay, so if you can show the object name, then they can help you to give the proper data for a particular employee or a particular scenario. Based on that, you can test this. And make sure that when you are working with rules concept, always use the proper test data. Proper test data means you have to you have to run that scenario as an employee, not as a developer. You understood, right? What I'm saying? When you are working with rules, you have to test the scenario as an employee. As an employee in the sense you have to log in with, let's say for example, you are testing with scenario with this particular employee. Then you have to log in this user ID only. Okay.
Yeah, Ramesh.
Okay. Otherwise, workflow, everything looks fine, but workflow still it will not work. Because I faced this problem many times when